I am very introspective and in a mood of reading and looking at the synchronicities and looking to this new creation. So it is something more innovative from from this experience this time. So it was nice to listen to you that the things that are happening in Israel are kind of the same, you know. Just to point out this.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Fernando, for saying what you're saying, because I would like to explain in a way Yom Kippur in a mathematical way, just to make it simple. What happens in this day? Because this year it was very, very different since the Corona has passed and like different flow of people have arrived and more. I mean, different kind of people make their voice. The tribe voice, which used to govern Israel for so long, is gone after the Corona. And if you will wish, I can shortly explain what happens in this flow, but maybe we can do it time after time because there's so many things that I would like to share with you, and I don't know where to start. So let's start from 365, which is the solar year. 365 days. This is a solar year. And basically in a solar year we have 52 weeks. 52 weeks. It is 52 times 7, and then we have 364. Those are the regular days of the year, and then we add 1, which is 365, and this is the day of Yom Kippur, when all creation, because 52 is not just the number of weeks per year, it's also the value of sun. We are the sons of God, so to speak. We are His created being. So the whole creation returns to the source on Yom Kippur. It's like a very also eco day. Everything is, nobody uses cars, factories are closed, everything is closed, and people are also go inside of themselves. So in a way, the whole creation returns to the point of before beginning, and then it starts again. And then the whole potential of the creation goes out to the world. This is the movement that we experience here every Yom Kippur. Basically every Shabbat. Every Shabbat it's like this. Not everything is closed because slowly Israel is open. So, but this Yom Kippur was very, very special. Everybody, it's like general subconscious or unconscious of 10 million people that were like going inside of them, and this morning going out. And it's a new creation in terms of mind, completely. And there's a lot of, I would say, optimism. Very, very optimistic day to day. And I would like to share this with you, and I hope it is a bit understood, all of this thinking. Now, I would like us to look and to read Kings 2, chapter 4, Elisha and the oil. Who would like to read the text, please?
Philip or Ruth, if you could, just because of your beautiful pronunciation.
Okay, I'll read this one. So this is, which chapter is this? Okay, it's Second Kings, chapter 4. Is it
Yes,
chapter 4?
it is.
Yes. Now there cried a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elisha, saying, Thy servant my husband is dead, and thou knowest that thy servant did fear the Lord. And the creditor is come to take unto him my 2 children to be bondmen. And Elisha said unto her, What shall I do for thee? Tell me, what hast thou in the house? And she said, Thy handmaid hath not anything in the house, save a pot of oil. Then he said, Go, borrow thee vessels abroad of all thy neighbours, and empty vessels, borrow not a few. And thou shalt go in, and shut the door upon thee, and upon thy sons, and pour out unto all those vessels, and thou shalt set aside that which is full. So she went from him, and shut the door upon her, and upon her sons. They brought the vessels to her, and she poured out. And it came to pass, when the vessels were full, that she said unto her son, Bring me yet a vessel. And he said unto her, There is not a vessel more. And the oil stayed. Then she came and told the man of God, and he said, Go, sell the oil and pay the debt, and live thou and thy sons of the rest.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, who would like to summarize the story before we go and abstract the words and see what ideas are hiding behind those words? What is the story here? Who comes to whom, and who asks for help, and why? What is the story? Philip? Shelton is here. Good morning, Shelton.
Good morning, Auntie. Shalom to everybody.
Shalom, shalom. How are you doing, Shelton, this morning?
I'm doing well, doing well.
Good. How was Yom Kippur? Did you participate in this thinking of Yom Kippur yesterday?
Yes, an afternoon program.
Good, good, good. And how was it, Shelton, may I ask?
It was beautiful, and I have to send you the sermon from the night before. I'll send it to you.
Thank you, thank you. We were reading, if you can see, Shelton, do you have access to the whiteboard by chance?
Not today because I'm actually in transit taking my son to school, so I won't have access to it for maybe 20, 30 minutes.
Okay, okay. So we are reading 2 Kings chapter 4, Elisha and the oil. Yes, Fernando, would you like to summarize the story? What is the story of Elisha?
Yes, Shalom, Shelton. We are reading the miracle of the oil, because it happens that one of the women that were following Elisha said to him that she became a widow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now people were like taking the property from her because she had to pay the debts that her husband left behind, and were taking her 2 kids to be slaves, right? And Elisha asked to this widow to get clear vessels, and because she had home only one clear with oil, only one vessel with oil, and she went to get more vessels, and it happened that all the vessels that she brought came full of oil. So Elisha said to her to sell the oil and pay the debts and live with the rest to her and her family. I don't know if it's a good resume, but
It's an excellent one. It's an excellent one. So I would like us to check out what is the relation between the oil and the term that the widow mentioned as related to her husband. In Hebrew, she said, here in verse 1, in English, thy servant, my husband, is dead. This is what she says. And in Hebrew, avdecha ishi met. So she said, your servant. And in Hebrew, we say avdecha. I will write it, and I would like to see what is the relation between servant and oil. And we shall understand why here the miracle happens with oil. 1 second, write it. Avdecha, your servant. Avdecha, this is your servant. This is Chaf Sofit, and this is says yours. So this is servant, Eved. Eved is a servant, and its value is 76. Ain is 70, Bet is 2, Daled is 4. This is 76. Now, what is the word for oil in Hebrew? Remember? Shemen. Yes. The value of shemen, what is the value of shemen? 390. Let's subtract the word servant, which is 76, from oil. What do we get?
314.
300, yes.
316.
Yes.
314. Yes,
Yes.
yes. What does this number remind you of?
Shaddai.
Shaddai.
Lovely.
Shaddai. There's another thing here. The word Eved is not just servant, it means only slave. It's the same structure that we find in Exodus. When the people of Israel are slaves here, 76, they need to sacrifice the lamb. The lamb. Because Shaddai, if we write it in a different order, Dalet here and the Yod comes here, this is the lamb. Once they sacrifice, they give as sacrifice the lamb, they go to the Exodus 390. This is the value of not just oil, but also Shamayim, heavens. Do you see the structure?
Yeah.
Question so far?
Yes, in fact I have one.
Yes.
About this relationship of servant of a prophet or from the divinity, because usually we think that a servant is someone that is oppressed only, and but we usually see that when someone is with in a deep relationship with divinity, it becomes a servant of the higher,
Yes.
So if you could expand a little bit about what does it mean, this servant of the Spirit.
It's interesting because I was preparing a conversation today, which I did not publish yet, also concerning this. It means basically to be open all the time. There's no night and day. There's no shifts here. That shift is over, and then now it is. It means all the time to be attentive, to listen, to make space for listening. And this is the conversation that I prepared, and it's the first time that I offer like meditation of creativity. And in a way, it's not so much of a choice, I would say. It is not so much a choice. It's like I was thinking today, like when a person is a parent, he cannot tell himself, no, now I'm not going to. It's the middle of the night. I'm tired. I'm not making a bottle of milk. Something like this is not happening. Otherwise, the children will not survive, the babies. So it's just you're on duty 24/7, and all the time listening and from one side listening to what comes, and from the other side you try to share as much as possible from what you're listening. And not just to share in just podcasts or lessons per week, but all the time communicating in writing, letters, poems, and so on, all the time. I don't know if I answer your question, but
Yes, you indeed you do it because if I understood well, when we are like aware of this relationship, we can see like the synchronicities. We can see the order in creation. We can see the hidden things that happens, and the flow of energy that happens, and the coincidence that if we are sensible enough, we can see that it's a miracle. It is a little miracle all the time happening. But you need to. It seems that you need to allow this flow of energy somehow. You need to share it somehow. You need to bring it to the world. So I think that is a deep topic, because we can see that some people take this concept and misuse it, like instead of listening within, they start to listen from an institution, or something that makes people stand like 24 hours serving the institution sometimes.
mm-hmm.
But just thinking about it.
It is true. It is true. You remind me of a dream that I had after Yom Kippur. I cannot say much. What the first part of the dream was that in this there was like a white space, and one of the people that is participating in our conversations appeared there, and there was not talking, just like white or light, I don't know how to call it, and there was like silence of understanding, being in this place of light. And this one, he went, he asked me if there's a building or of something that he should tour, and I said no, it's not in the building, and he went for a walk. And in the other part of the dream, we were in a place of many people, and completely different from the first part, which was light and spacey, and there was like silence of understanding, and many people were moving out and about, and one person was taking from a box a new set of plates, like dishes, like to set. But each plate that he took from the box, on it there was like a structure or a building or institution in the plate, like you buy a plate with a church on it, or not a church but a certain building, or and he takes more plates from the box, and another plate has a structure on it, or a building or institution on it, and since every plate has an institution print on it, from the material that the plate is made of, there's no space. In other words, nobody can eat from those or can be nourished from those plates, because there's like institution in the plate, so there's no place, no space to put something new inside. And in a way I understood that this dream has like two parts. From the first part is with light, with space, with understanding. People do not need to say much, they understand. In the source, like they have this same understanding between them. And the other one, people are eating like an old bread, like institution. It's impossible to be there. It's so condensed. It's no space. Also, this is the dream that I had after Yom Kippur. And you because you mentioned, Fernando, the institution. Yes.
Beautiful. It is just to see that is interesting, because it represents these two faces of the Ovedim, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It is a relationship, like a relationship of love with divinity, and a relationship of submission, you know.
Mm.
It is different. And I remember that you once said that institution in Hebrew is Mossad.
It's
right?
true, yes.
And with these letters we can write Sodom.
Yes, yes.
So, but I thank you so much. It is quite something your dream, and I don't know. Don't want to bring strange ideas to it. It is amazing.
No, it's okay. Shalom, Shalom Venus, and Shalom Love on YouTube. Thank you for participating. Since you asked Fernando about in a way our life are divided between being the people that we think we are, or we educated that we are, or what the society around us mirrors for us, and what is really happening there inside. In a way, there are two different faces of us. One is more supported by the societies, let's say family and systems around us, and one is more inner. And about this I would like to speak about, and I like Ruth mentioned last conversation, what is the difference between writing a letter, essay, a book, and writing a poetry, and what is the difference between the expressions of Moses and David, and how by also paying attention to this David inside of us, we are creating a unity between the conscious and the unconscious. Moses in us, in a way, reflects the cognitive speech. Moses, Moshe, (345). When we rearrange the letters of his name, this is Hashem, the name or the essence of things. This is our cognitive speech. When we write a letter, when we turn to a friend in a letter, when we write to institution or communication, we are using words. Those words together build up sentences, and so we go. This is the cognitive speech. It is like the sun in us. But there's also another aspect of us, of our life, is the moon in us, the unconscious in us. This is the moon. And the moon in us is represented by David. The value of David is 14. David, in a way, is the one, like he says in Psalms, and his song with me at night. Uvalayla shiro imi. And at night his song is with me. What is the song that David refers to? What is a night in us? A night in us is a moment that we experience cognitive rest. We go into a room, we shade a bit. If it's a night, it's a night. If it's a day, we shade the room with curtains. And we go into a silence mode. We are resting, so to speak, in the dark, with not so much attention outside of the silence. And when our senses are going back inside, because we are in a concise room, in a quiet place, the unconscious suddenly flooded us, because the unconscious feels safe. I mean, we feel safe because our senses do not need to guard us. Let's say we are on the road, we have to be careful if a car is coming, if the traffic light is red or green, we have to pay attention all the time. People are coming, so our system is stretched out hard. There's a lot of cognitive load in those moments, or if we have to perform in court or all kinds of lectures in university. But when we go to a concise room, which is a bit in a shadow, in a quiet place, when we don't need to defend ourselves, our image, our personas, people coming, going, sneezing all around. When we don't need to guard, we can rest. And when we can rest, the infinite, which is stored in the unconscious, starts to communicate, because this is safe, and it's just shooting into us images, pictures, music, verses, poetry. Everything is just a treasure. What is very common in our times, that if people have no rest, or they want to rest or to spend the time, they watch a movie. They go to this infinite category online. There's many movies in many platforms, and they pick up a movie, which is there. Somebody shoots, somebody's acting. Might be interesting or not, but and this, I would like to recommend this, if you would like to exercise it, to go into this room inside when you are able to do this rest. And it is really amazing what comes as communication when we feel in rest, when we feel that we don't need to guard ourselves, when the senses are going back into the tent, like Oel Moed, you can call it, the gathering tent. The more we experience those moments, some people, for them, if you tell them to do this, they really reject. They can't. They come with anxiety, just can't. But the more we can extend those minutes or periods that we are with ourselves, the better. The more communication we get. The more communication we get, the more we are, how do you say, acting upon it, communicate it, and then our vessels becoming more clear and more transmission comes. And not just the transmission comes, also our lives are getting changed. They go to a different course because we are communicating this to other people. And this is the miracle. This is the miracle which is happening. Because the miracle is not outside of us, but inside in each and every one of us. The more we experience like David moments, the better. And I prepared a conversation. I'm really shaking about it because I never did something like this before in terms of depths, but I hope to release it soon. But let's go back to the relation between David and Moses in us, because in us there is Moses, the cognitive speech, the ability to read, to write, and so to communicate. But inside of us there's also David, and also this aspect of us, it is good to give him a space in us. What happens when we combine those two aspects in us, we get 359 plus the 1, we have 360. This is a complete cycle. We can experience completion and unity by being both aware to the Moses in us, the one who speaks, about the one who makes like reasonable sentences, put order, harmony, mathematics in its place, and on the other hand, not to neglect David, to give the David in us space to create poetry, to play music, to compose from unreasonable, I would say, words, a creation. This is David in us. When we enable ourselves to be a bit like David with the Moses, this is a beautiful, holistic, we feel holy, it's holiness and holistic, and we feel unity. It's beautiful because both of those aspects are living inside of ourselves.
It is beautiful too. And I'm wondering here about the relation between these ideas of opening a space and the text that we just read, the miracle of Elisha. Because it seems that when we have a vessel, the oil pours for itself.
Yes, this is it. When we have a vessel, we just need to have a vessel, and the vessel is what? What is the vessel, Fernando?
I tend to think that is a space.
A space, yes, a space from this cognitive, from screens and so, to go out. A space is to go inside. Is to go inside.
I was thinking that David was married with Bathsheba, right?
Yes.
And we know that David is related with Malchut, the kingdom, the last sphere, that is the sphere that only receives the light.
Yes.
And he was married with the son of the seven,
Yes.
reinforcing the idea that is the last, the Shabbat, right?
Yes.
The Shiva, the Shabbat, to sit down, to enjoy, to rest. Because like you said, we are restless,
Yes.
Nowadays we do not know how to rest because we are always having debts like this widow. We have
Mm-hmm.
debts with the work that we make, with the, the appointments that we have with family, with friends. We have we, we cannot rest on it. And this quality of David is the quality of Shabbat. I think when he is married with Bathsheba, and when we think about his at night making poems and sounds, not the warrior but the poet. And I am just circulating everything that you are saying, just to make an unclear image maybe. But I'm thinking about Malkut, about the seventh day, about the Or Hoser, the light that reflects. When you have a little vessel with water, impassive water, like a water that shines, it can reflect the sky, right?
Yes.
River that reflects the sky.
Yes. Yes. The
So,
day.
so as you,
Yes. Yes, Shelton.
yeah, I was thinking as you've been speaking, thinking about David, the 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 psalm that says, "Be still and know that I am God," and it's during the night that oftentimes we are still, and also during the night are those times, not just um, the calendar day and night, but also during those times when we cannot see. So we our faculties, thinking about the 1 to 4 relationship, or Abraham and Isaac, those times when we cannot see ahead and we don't know with our eyes what's going to happen. So those times we have to stop, right? There are circumstances in life that sometimes are overwhelming, and David said, "When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I." So it's during those times of being overwhelmed by life, the night seasons, that we also have this ability, this call, if you will, to go within, to touch the infinite, to understand in a different way life and all of its complexities and beauty.
Indeed, Shelton. Thank you so much. Yes. Also, periods of darkness or dark. Yes. On nights. Yes. Of course. Just not to be afraid to go there. The whole perspective of a night or a dark is one thing. Is that we are not familiar with it. It is unknown to us. It's a new situation. A child was in kindergarten for a few years and then he has to go to the first grade. He never entered school. He never know. He heard stories about school and first grade, but he doesn't know what is it. He's excited but also afraid. So this is also us. It's a new situation. It's not something familiar. It's not a routine. It's not a habit. It's something new, and new is always unknown. For example, just interesting thing. Ruth wrote a poem and she posted on Discord, and she wrote, after she kindly shared it with us, it's a beautiful poem, and she wrote a line, I was not sure where to post it and under what category. And this is a beautiful thing, because whenever we are not sure or we don't know, it means a new thing is coming. Maybe I will open a new channel for poetry, which I'm intending to do. But whenever we feel that we don't know something, it is very good, because in the moment that we feel that we don't know, we can grow, we can search, we can look. We're not certain. In our world is considered to be not really cool if we don't know something. Well, the Bible perspective is opposite. If we don't know something, It is very good. It means we are alive and we should look for the right thing to do. So, not to feel embarrassed or ashamed if we don't know something, if we are moving through different bridges of our life and other ways and doors are being opened, not to be afraid. It is something new. We did not meet it before. Not to be afraid. Because there's always support. The infinite never will leave his children unsupported or without love. It just cannot be. It just cannot be. This is impossible to happen. Look, we're breathing. Who gives us air? Our hearts are do what they do to give us life. Who give all of those commands? Who are enabling all of these forms of lives? Who?
Eti,
Yes.
hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
It is beautiful what you are speaking, and I was just thinking about the sketch that you made about Shaddai and
Yes.
the slave, the shaman Shaddai. Um, and we we talked before. We talked that Shaddai without the covenant is a demon, right? It's
Yes.
only the two letters Shin and Dalet is demon, right?
Yes.
And with the covenant, with the Yod, it is the Almighty. And I was thinking that also when we put instead of the covenant, but we put the eighth date, the Het is Hadash. We can
Yes.
form as well. That is the new one, the new perspective, right? Because I don't know, just came and it is new. So as you just said, I don't know. I really don't know why I make this connection, but I was thinking that something new maybe has some relationship with this idea of the Almighty and with this idea that is something that comes from the other side. Because when we something old, the old bread that you speak before, that you said before, maybe it's this only Shin and Dalet, this thing that make us live in time and space with gravity, you know?
Yes.
And the new thing is the one who brings the oil.
It is true because Het is the 8th day, and in the 8th day, how do we write 8 in Hebrew? Shmone. Shmone holds the letters of Shemen, oil, with a vessel, with the hay as a vessel. Excellent.
So I wanted to add to what you were saying, Fernando, that the importance of the covenant, and Eti, you've talked about in the past the importance of conversation. And there's a scripture that says, how can two walk together unless they are agreed? And the importance of the conversation, because the covenant assumes that there's a dialogue, there's a meeting of the minds, right? There's a meeting of or understanding between two people or between us and God. And so um, this also speaks to the importance of the ongoing conversation, because the covenant, like the reading of the Torah, is refreshed by the study and by the continued re-application for each day, because every day is new, and every day we see different aspects of the Torah. We see different aspects of the divine in terms of our life experience, because each day we have a different perspective because we are in a different place in time and space.
It is true. It is true.
Just to add what Shelton said, that was beautiful. Maybe this conversation, this gathering of people, is the key that this story is speaking about. These lots of keys, these lots of vessels that we have to gather the oil. I don't know. Just when Shelton said, it came to me that maybe there's a relation.
It is true because the vessel is like empty. What is the meaning? How can we define a vessel? It's an empty space. This is what Elisha says to the woman, to bring not few, he says, to bring as much as possible empty vessel. Because from the heavenly perspective, from the oil perspective, from the shemen, because shemen is also, I will open here a new space to write a relation between the shemen, the oil, and the letters of the name. Shemen is oil, 390, like Shemayim, like heavens. Now, when we take the zero outside, because the zero is not a number, it is nothing, we are remaining with 3 and 9, which is 39, or 3 times love. This is one perspective. Another one is the name, the tetragrammaton. What happens when we take the first 3 letters of his name and fill it with the filling of the letter Aleph? Look what comes. Yod, we are writing it like this. Hey Aleph, with the filling of Aleph, and Vav is the value of Yahu, the 3 letters of the name, with the filling of Aleph is 39. So, what is oil? The first 3 letters of the name with the filling of the letter Aleph, double 10. But 39 is also the value of the word tal. Tal, dew, is 39. So the first 3 letters of the tetragrammaton with the filling of the letter Aleph gives us 39, or dew. This is the dew that revives the dead aspects in us.
Amazing, it's amazing.
Nice one, Eddie.
Yes.
Just to let you know, our hours changed here in Australia. Classes are at midnight for me now. I'll be happy returning to keeping up from a distance.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting. You said that you're at midnight, and it's something about being at midnight to me that's interesting in terms of the night and the darkness. We often think of midnight as a kind of a turning point between from one day to the next, but it's also some see it as the middle of the night, but it's also the turning point between one day to the next day in the calendar. So it's interesting.
Yes, there is you reminded me, Shelton, one verse from Song of Songs, that the beloved one, he says, please open the door for me, my love, my dove, because my head is filled with dew. I will bring the verse 1 second. Thank you for mentioning it. Philip and Shelton and Fernando, I will bring the verse now. Do you remember this verse, Shelton?
No, I don't remember that one, but it sounds wonderful.
This is in the Song of Songs, chapter 5, Song of Songs, chapter 5, verse 2. I'll bring it, and I need a volunteer to read it. Once I'll post it on the whiteboard. I'm asking your kindness to read it. Here it is. Here. Make it bigger, and I move it here for more space for us to look at it. Oops. I need a volunteer to read it once I enlarge the letters. Oops, yeah. Who is volunteering to read? Do you see the text?
I lost us access it, but just a moment.
Yes.
I cannot see the text.
You cannot see the text.
I can see it. I can see it okay.
You can see it? Okay.
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay.
I sleep, but my heart waketh. Hark, my beloved knocketh. Open to me, my sister, my love, my dove, my undefiled. For my head is filled with dew, my locks with the drops of the night.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Ruth. The dew in this verse is in Hebrew tal. Tal has 2 letters. Dew. Tal. Dew here in Hebrew is 39, like the value of Yahoo letters, the 3 letters of the name with the filling of the letter Aleph. So what is a dew here? In a way, the infinite. This is an image here. In this poetry, Song of Songs, there's an image. We think usually, or we were trained to think that this is a romance between a man and his wife or a beloved one. But the man, so to speak, is the spirit, the infinite. And he says, please open the door for me, because my head is filled with dew. Dew is the drops that the infinite wishes to give us as influence, because we are all collectively living in time and space. We have bodies, so we are, so to speak, we are the dove or the wife. God, so to speak, is the husband, and we are the wife, all humanity. And at midnight, as Philip said, and then Shelton expressed it, something happens at midnight. There's a knocking. The infinite asks to come in and says, open to me. And then he uses 4 different words. My sister, yes, my sister, my love, my dove, my undefiled. 4 times he calls us in different names. We are his sister, we are his love, we are his dove. And so why that we shall open the door for the infinite? Because my head is filled with dew, like we find dew at dawn on the grass. I want to influence you, the whole goodness of spirit, because Yahu, the 3 letters of the name, this is the Spirit of God, which is hovering above the face of the water. This is the 3. 1 second. I put here the hay as the force. Those are the 3. Those are the Spirit. This is the dew. Oh, 3 times love, 3 times 13. And he asks from us, open the door for me. This is why I asked for us to go to the dark mode, to the resting mode, to retreat from the world. When we go to this space, the infinite can come in and influence spirit on us and open for me, because my head is filled with dew. I want to influence you. Just let me in. Let me in. This is why we see here, as Fernando said in this painting, the wife of the prophet, the student of Elisha, she is holding with her children empty vessels. It is, and the night, the darkness, the fact that we cannot see, like Sheldon says, we don't know, it's an empty vessel. And it's very good that we don't see, and it's very good that we don't know, and we are little. Because once we are little, there's a vessel. We don't know, we're little. And the infinite sees there is a place I can influence. He listens, I can speak to him. He's empty, I can give him my spirit. This is the secret of love.
Amazing.
Most welcome. Questions or thoughts that you'd like to share?
Yes, I was looking at the verse yesterday that from the Song of Solomon
Yes.
that you put on today, and I when I read the different stages, my sister, my love, my dove, my undefiled, I actually for a moment was thinking, there are stages of, it's like climbing those stairs we talked about. It seemed that each one of those words was a progression towards a deeper relationship. My sister is more removed. My love is closer. The dove is loving only one person, and by that time the stage goes higher to being undefiled, because the connection with the spirit doesn't want any defilement. So I was thinking of that, the kind of the Jacob's ladder once again, of the movement up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just my thought, because I was thinking of the verse yesterday.
It is beautiful because the higher is always there, and we just have to be kind enough to open any kind of opening, because the communication is happening all the time, especially at night, especially in the moments that we think that we are left behind or we don't know, and we just need a long bridge to connect, especially in those moments. The moments can be sometimes weeks or so, months or so.
Mm.
There's a great support.
Mm.
Because we feel little, there's much support. It's like relations with human. Babies, they need more support. Children, more support. When adult can take care of himself or herself, it's different. But when we cross the night, just children, and there's full support, full support. Always full support. Any questions or thoughts?
I'll just say thank yous for your time.
Thank you so much, and I would like to wish you a wonderful year, because now the year is starting basically. From today it's going to be a beautiful year with a lot of hope and creativity and love. And from here to all of you and the world, Shana Tova and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Shalom,
Shana
shalom.
Tova. Shabbat Shalom.